It's the day after Nebraska's awful blowout loss to the Penn State Nittany Lions 37-10, and man oh man, over these past couple hours, I painfully rewatched the game, looked over the stats, and I've come up with 5 massive nuggets that we learned in yesterday's defeat. In the big question, where did the Huskers go from here, and what do we do with Matt Rhule? So really quick, this is going to be a brutally honest video. I am not holding back. We will talk about everything. Trust me. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And also, we're getting so close to 15,000 subscribers, and for good reason. This is the only channel on YouTube that posts daily content talking your favorite team, talking Nebraska. We are not slowing down anytime soon. It's going to get busy in January, in December with the transfer portal. So listen, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan, it's no brainer. Take 2 seconds. Help us hit 15K. Join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. I am not going to hold back. We are going to keep it brutally honest about Nebraska's loss to Penn State, the real reason it happened, what this means for the future of the coaching staff, the future of this team. I mean, let's just start things off with Matt Rhule. I'm going to tell you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Let's take Nebraska out of the equation. When you ask Big Ten fans, SEC fans, college football fans, NFL fans about Matt Rhule, they widely consider him a joke. They consider Matt Rhule to be a fraud. So much so that when Nebraska extended Matt Rhule just a couple weeks ago, all these Big Ten fans were celebrating. Whether it was Iowa fans, Minnesota fans, Michigan fans. They said that as long as Matt Rhule is in Nebraska, the Huskers aren't going anywhere. That he's not a good developer. He's not a good recruiter. That he can't beat the best. He can't win big games. He can't win any games. He can't beat teams with a pulse. And Matt Rhule had a huge opportunity yesterday to go into Happy Valley, his alma mater, a fan base that has treated him so poorly over these past couple weeks, and he had a chance to prove them wrong, to shut up the critics. And if anything, he did the exact opposite. He proved them right. He proved that while he may be a decent head coach, he's definitely not good, and he's certainly not great. Matt Rhule, right off the bat, he can't win the big game. I'll ask you right now, what has been Matt Rhule's best win at Nebraska in 3 years? Seriously, think about it. What's his best win? Was it Cincinnati this year, in Kansas City, where we had to win on a walk-off interception? Really? Was it Colorado last year? I'll tell you right now, in 3 seasons, Matt Rhule has only one Big Ten win against a team who ended the season with a winning record. Only one. And that was Northwestern in his first season. He's taking advantage of a really easy schedule this year, and we're only 7-4? Really? In a year that Matt Rhule said all offseason that we're going to be in the mix for the playoffs, we're only 7-4, and we got obliterated on national television. So he absolutely can't win the big game. That dates back not only at Nebraska, but at Baylor, at Temple. He had opportunities to beat USC, which is not a great football team. They lost yesterday, and yet we lost the football game. He had an opportunity to beat Michigan. We weren't prepared. He had an opportunity to beat Minnesota. We got blown out, and we got blown out once again yesterday. So you can't deny that. Matt Rhule can't win a big game. He can't beat teams with a pulse. He barely beats teams with winning records. He doesn't fire anybody. Okay, as a head coach, if you don't have the stones to fire people, because he has not fired anybody in 3 years at Nebraska. He's just demoted people. He demoted Marcus Satterfield. He demoted Ed Foley. All the other coaches have left. So as a leader of men, if you don't even have the stones to fire your best friends who you hired, are you really doing a good job? And there are multiple positional coaches, multiple coordinators who aren't doing good jobs right now. So he can't win the big game. He can't fire anybody. He doesn't bench anybody, particularly our quarterback. He never benched Jeff Sims. The only reason Jeff Sims was no longer a starter because he got injured. He probably would have rode Jeff Sims for the entire season if he had a chance because he said Jeff Sims was going to be this great quarterback. We know that he has this podcast. He's doing all these extracurriculars, all these media tour things during the week, during the season, in the heat of November, doing anything but preparing, which is very evident on game day because the team looks unprepared constantly because Matt Rhule's out here doing podcasts with musicians with funny glasses talking about runses and hamburgers, thinking that it's going to benefit recruiting. I talk to recruits on the daily. No recruit is listening to the Matt Rhule podcast. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help recruiting. It doesn't help the national perception. If anything, it's a huge joke. The podcast is a joke. And I don't care if you do that just in January. I don't care if you do that in February. But if you're doing that in November, you better win to back it up. And you're not doing that against anybody worth anything. That's for sure. Again, Penn State ran a fake punt on us early in the ballgame, or excuse me, late in the ballgame when they're blowing us out against Matt Rhule. They have no respect for him. Nobody has any respect for Matt Rhule. They don't think he's going to do anything about it. So I saw that to say this. When a person shows you who they truly are, you better believe them. And Matt Rhule has shown you who he truly is. He's a decent developer. but he can't win these big games. And what do you think is going to change? Even if we do fire these positional coaches, even if we get some talented transfer portal, do you really believe we're going to find a way to win these big games next year when he's never done that in his entire coaching career? Because it's clear it's deeper than the talent. It's deeper than position coaches. It stems with our head man. Now listen, I'm not out on Matt RHULE. There are multiple YouTube channels. There are multiple people who are saying, oh, I'm done on Matt RHULE. I'm not there yet. I still believe in Matt RHULE, but I'm at the point where he's not a great head coach. Just not. He's not a great head coach. He isn't. He can't game plan. He got out-schemed by an interim head coach yesterday. That's a fact. His recruiting is getting worse. The only reason our 27 class is looking really good right now is because of Trey Taylor, his peer recruiting. But if Trey Taylor never committed here, the 27 class will look terrible. The 26 class, a complete joke. We have 9 commits. And there's not quantity, but there's also not quality. He can't make adjustments mid-game. You knew when we were down to the first quarter is over because we're never going to adjust. He can't evaluate talent, really, because he said the defensive line would be hell on wheels, literally the worst in the history of this program. He said that Jeff Simmons is going to be All-American. Oh, Jeff Simmons not very good. He said the offensive line would be a pillar of the squad. The offensive line's terrible. He said Raiola was going to be in the Heisman discussion. Raiola wasn't that good. So, anyways, we're stuck with Matt RHULE. But we are. I mean, we just gave him an extension. Honestly, the extension shows you that we're a bottom feeder program. You want the true reason we're a bottom feeder is we extended Matt RHULE not based on his merit, not because he proved anything, but because we were scared he was going to leave. That's why we extended him. And shame on you, Troy Dane, for that. And we talked about that on the time. And I got crucified for my take. And while I said I'm okay with the extension because I want continuity more than anything, and I still say that today, I don't want Matt RHULE gone. I said the extension is bad because if things go south, which they very well could with our schedule next year, you're stuck. And Troy Dane made a weak move, very weak move, to extend a head coach who hasn't proved anything here and has only beat bottom feeder teams. So if you're stuck with Matt RHULE, I'm not saying he should be fired, but if you're stuck with a guy who can't win the big games, who recruiting clearly isn't going very well either, you might as well fire some coaches to make him look better. Let's talk about the rest of the coaching staff. Because again, it's not better. Dana Holgorsen, what was his game plan yesterday? Because, again, Matt RHULE's not doing much when it comes to game plan. He's not calling any plays on offense, not calling any plays on defense. All he has to do is manage the clock. He's not even doing that very well, but we're done talking about Matt RHULE. Dana, what was his game plan? There's no direction. There's no plan. He had 14 days to prepare. 14 days. The entire staff had 14 days, and it looked like that. We had 6 straight runs on the first drive of the ballgame with Emmett Johnson. Honestly, pretty good game plan. Emmett Johnson, Heisman-worthy running back. It worked. We had a 50-yard run, got it inside the red zone. But we did it over and over again. And suddenly, it's a 4th down and 1, the most predictable call in the world. Of course, we're going to give it to Emmett. And they stuffed us. And after that play, after that drive, we abandoned Emmett Johnson for the rest of the ballgame. Dana Holgorsen ruined Emmett Johnson's campaign. Really, he ruined it. TJ Lateef had a combined 50 total runs and passes in that ball game. Emmett only had 20 rushes. Are you kidding me? And Emmett's been carrying our offense all year long. So you went away from our only good player on offense. What do you think is going to happen? Well, that happened. We only put up 10 points. That's who Dana is at heart. He's inconsistent. He's a pass-heavy coordinator who loves the air raid. He has poor red zone play calling, poor 4th down execution, and he's just not ready for the big moment. That's just the way it goes. And who is even here next year? I wouldn't blame Dana left. I mean, he's going to get interest. You could argue the reason why the offense is what it is because of Matt RHULE and because we haven't made the full transition to Dana Holgorsen's offense because Matt RHULE wants it to be a certain way. You could argue that. But again, I'm just particularly talking about the play calling. The play calling was horrific. Once again, it's been horrific all year long. I'm tired of making excuses for him. John Butler. Also, kind of a revenge game for John. The last time he was defensive coordinator was at Penn State. He was a one and done because he wasn't very good over there. So you thought, okay, maybe he's going to prove Penn State wrong. Kind of a revenge game for him. He didn't do anything. He is such a vanilla defensive coordinator. He makes Tony White look like a genius. Tony White wasn't even that good. He makes Tony White look like a genius. Okay, he's great at scaling up the secondary, but his blitz concepts are terrible. We get no pressure. Okay, I don't care that the defensive line is bad. You can still get pressure depending on how you blitz. We don't blitz at all to begin with. Our secondary got exposed. There was a 3rd down and 1 where Kate Turnout's going off the entire game and can't stop the run, and we only had 3 defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage. What do you think is going to happen? Of course they ran for 5 yards and got the 1st down. Again, it's so vanilla. It's so basic. That's what it is. It's basic. Terry Brain, he's awful. Terry Brain needs to go. If Matt RHULE has any stones, Terry Brain would be fired tomorrow. He really would be because literally the worst defensive line in the history of this program. Literally the worst. And Terry Brain can't recruit either. He can't develop. He can't adjust. He clearly was not ready for this job. He was an assistant with the Chiefs. He walked in the building. Everybody's acting like, oh, we got this great former Chiefs coach, Super Bowl champ over here. Like, he was an assistant. He was never a full-on D-line coach. He's in over his head, clearly. And Matt Rhule, the best he can do is admit he made a huge mistake and move on from him. That's what he can do at this point. We're 11 games in. It's not getting any better. At some point, it points to him. And we only lost 3 defensive linemen from last season. It shouldn't look this bad. Raiola, clearly. Well, he fooled us these past 3 games. He thought it looked good versus USC, thought it looked good versus UCLA, went back to his true colors. The change is needed, man. It's just needed everywhere. And if Matt Rhule's not leaving, I'm not calling him to leave, but at the very minimum, he needs to make some big boy decisions because he has made none. He's made none. He's too busy doing the podcast to make those big boy decisions. That's the way it goes. Let's talk about the players on this team because the coaches aren't good enough, clearly. Clearly, with the way we played against a 4-6 club yesterday, against a team that has been beaten, bruised, lost to UCLA, lost to Northwestern. We made them look like a playoff team yesterday. We made them look like a national championship worthy team yesterday. So clearly the players aren't good enough either. Let's talk about the offense. Offensive line. Nothing new there, right? Nothing new. They fooled us. But clearly, Elijah Pritchett's not worth $1 million. We'll see if he's on this roster next year, but I'm telling you what, this dude should not start next year. Even if he is, he should not start. He should not start. Bring in somebody better because there's a lot. You don't have to look far to find somebody better than Elijah Pritchett. Multiple pressures given up. He would have given up a couple sacks if it weren't for TJ Lateef and him getting out of there. Interior was awful. Corcoran was awful. Thank goodness Corcoran's career is almost done because he's been one of the biggest busts in the history of this program, unfortunately. I mean, this offensive line can't even pick up basic assignments. Basic stunts, they can't even pick it up. It's awful. They get no push in the running game either. We can't even move the football with this offensive line. They limit the offense that much. Wide receivers. Nobody ever talks about the wide receivers. They can't get open. Dane Key, literally Dane Key, who was this big-time receiver out of Kentucky, he has 0 games this season against a powerful opponent with over 60 receiving yards. Are you kidding me? But he's blocking great, right? He's blocking awesome, right? According to Matt Rhule, but he just can't get open. That's his job, to get open and get yards. I don't care who's that quarterback. I don't care who the offensive line is, right? If you have a good receiver, he produces, and Dane's not producing. Jacory has best game of the year, but still, it wasn't much, right? Luke Lindenmeyer hasn't done anything in months. He's not very good. He can't block either anymore. Haarberg's awful. We're getting Haarberg snaps at quarterback for literally no reason because we feel bad for him because Haarberg, for whatever reason, has dirt on the program. I mean, that just tells you how bad of a coach Matt Rhule is. If Haarberg's getting snaps at quarterback just to hand it off to Emmett, why would we do that? What's the incentive? Because you feel bad for Haarberg? Really? It's a complete joke. Complete joke. And talking about the quarterback, again, I'm actually proud of the fan base because I thought the fan base would be calling for TJ. I thought people would be super mad at TJ. And honestly, most people are understand TJ actually played a good ball game, which he did. Like, TJ played a really good ball game given the circumstances, given how bad the O-line was, given how bad the defense was. I thought TJ played fine. Again, it's his second ever start. And we saw some beautiful, tough throws in there on the run to Dane Key, Jacory Barney, a beautiful deep ball to Emmett Johnson, a wheel route. Like, he had some nice touch on his throws that we haven't seen all year from Dylan, right? Again, was he perfect? No, he wasn't perfect. He had some tough throws, where he overthrew his, his receiver, or should have been picked off. Like, again, it happens. But Raiola wouldn't have changed anything, I'll tell you that much. If Raiola was out there, what do you think is going to happen? We weren't going to win that ball game either. This game was lost in the trenches. So unless Raiola could play offensive line or unless Raiola could play 3-tech, he wouldn't have impacted anything. If anything, I can tell you one thing, Raiola would have took a lot more sacks in this ball game. We only had 3 sacks on the day. If Raiola was out there, we probably would have gave up 6, would have gave up 7. But I'll tell you one thing, I bet the Raiola family's happy about TJ struggling a little bit. I wish I didn't say that, but come on. I bet Dominic Raiola's a little bit happy because he doesn't want a quarterback battle. Because that family wants the best for Dylan. They want Dylan to be handed the job next year. Okay. But it's not TJ, man. TJ actually played pretty well. Was he perfect? No. But that game was lost in the trenches. That game was lost with the coaching staff. No question about it. As to the defense, again, defensive line, worst in the history of the program. Thanks to Terry Brain. We lost 3 players. We lost literally 3 players from last season, and it went from really, really good to quite literally the worst. Because Terry Braden instructed all his defensive linemen to lose weight. And Van Poppel's regressed. Cameron Lenhart has regressed. Okay, Judy has regressed. Keona Davis kind of regressed. These young players aren't developing at all. No push, no size, all sorts in the interior. All these players are terrible. We can't get any sacks. We can't get pressure with 3, can't get pressure with 4. We can't stop the run. I mean, that's just out the window. We already knew that going into this game. We couldn't stop the run. Can't do anything. What can the D-line do? Nothing. Secondary was awful. Gave up 200 yards to a backup quarterback. Only 1 incompletion. Rex Guthrie, clearly he's not ready. We always talk about how Rex Guthrie is going to be this great player, how scouts are looking at Rex Guthrie. I mean, he looks like Isaac Gifford out there, really. Can't tackle very well. Out of position all the time. Can't play in man coverage. So I'm not giving up a Rex Guthrie, but he's not ready. Donovan Jones, and the Donovan Jones experience is like a roller coaster. You have a great game, a terrible game. Terrible game yesterday. I thought Sean Singleton actually played well, though. I thought Sia Wright actually played pretty well, too. So I don't want to blame it all on the secondary. That really wasn't it. It was our trenches more than anything with the defense. Okay. The big question, where do we go from here? Where do we go? We have one more regular season game left against Iowa. Tough rival. Then we play a bowl game. It's deflating. That's the one word I'll use. Completely deflating. Because what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen versus Iowa against our dreaded rival? And that fan base is already talking a lot of crap. Okay, Iowa's better than Penn State. Iowa runs the football more effectively than Penn State. Iowa has a mobile quarterback unlike Penn State. Iowa has a head coach who has our number and has only lost to us one time in the past decade. So let me get this straight. We got out-schemed and out-disciplined by an interim yesterday. What do you think is going to happen when Kirk Ferentz comes down? What do you think is going to happen? So people have been asking me, they say, Wilson, how are we possibly going to beat Iowa? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the right person to ask. You should call up your priest, call up your pastor. Those are the right people to ask. We need to start praying. I mean, literally, we need some divine intervention to beat Iowa at this rate. Divine intervention. We need some magic. I wish I was joking, but there is no way with Nebraska's ineptitude when it comes to stopping the run, with our inconsistencies on offense, with our penalty issue, with our turnover issue, there is no way we are ever going to beat Iowa unless something unforeseen happens on Friday with 5 days of preparation. We are not the team we thought we were going to be. And it's clear we found out who this team is. We are a team who has a lot of talent. It's never a talent issue, but we lack development. We are a team who lacks physicality. We are a team who's grossly underprepared. We are a team that, from a culture standpoint, it's not where we think we are. Okay, we require everything to go right in the first quarter for us to win. If we have any adversity early on, we'll lose. We're a team that doesn't make adjustments, and we're a team that's barely gotten the most out of the season. Our record's okay right now. We're sitting here at 7 wins, 7-4, still objectively fine. But what do you think would have happened if we played any tougher of a schedule this season? What do you think would have happened if we played Wisconsin's schedule? We'd probably have 4 wins. Seriously, we'd probably have 3 wins. At the very most, 5 wins. And that makes you think a little bit differently about the progress that we maybe would have made with Matt Rhule. And you look back to the Michigan State game. We barely beat literally one of the worst teams in this conference. We barely beat Northwestern. We barely beat Maryland, who hasn't won a football game in months. We barely beat Cincinnati. All the games we've won, we've barely won. UCLA, too, who got blown up by Washington yesterday. So we have no good win this season. We got blown out against any team with a pulse, any team with a winning record. How is that supposed to give anybody any confidence about next season? At all. We need to attack the portal. We need to figure out these coaches. Matt Rhule needs to have some stones to make some tough decisions. And Matt Rhule also needs to take a look in the mirror and understand, hey, I'm not a good enough head coach right now. That's the bottom line. He needs to do some soul searching. So listen, I'm going to Iowa with no expectations. I'm not expecting to win. If anything, I'm expecting to lose. And I hate to have that mindset going to a rivalry game, but there's just no way we're going to win unless we figure something out. Again, we already know what this team is. We can't stop the run. That's not going to magically change in 5 days. We can't stop a mobile quarterback. That's not going to magically get change. So if we lose, we lose. If we win, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change what we've learned. We are an imperfect team. That's a far ways away from where we thought we were going to be with year 3 of Matt Rhule. We got to do something about it. And that falls on Matt Rhule to do that during the offseason. And the final thing I'll tell you is, despite how we're feeling right now, we're all pretty crushed. Enjoy this final week. Enjoy. We only have one more week of regular season football. And you would have done anything just a couple weeks ago, just a couple months ago to watch Nebraska ball play. And back in January, back in February, back in March, you would have done anything to watch Nebraska ball play. It's almost over. The season's almost over. I know the season hasn't been great, but it's almost gone for a very long time. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy every single game of college football, whether it's Nebraska, any other team, because it's literally almost gone. And we got to enjoy our game versus Iowa, enjoy our bowl game, and then hopefully improve this team rapidly in the portal with the defensive line, coaching staff, offensive line. We got a lot of work to do. And I still trust Matt Rhule to get it done, but it all starts against Iowa. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below about everything. Don't hold back. Let me know your comments, what you're thinking. Hey, if you made this far, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go be grad, go Matt Rhule, and I will see you in the next one.